Welcome to A Stride Above podcast, where our commitment to excellence in equine health and athletic performance unites us. Join your host, Dr. Alberto Rollan, as we trot through the essential topics that matter most to you and your equine family members. With over 15 years of experience in equine sports medicine and rehabilitation, Dr. Rollan is dedicated to navigating you through the latest innovations and essential insights in horse health. Together, we'll ensure that you and your horses always remain a stride above the rest.
Welcome to another episode of A Stride Above, and this is going to be the third and last episode on reproduction. But don't forget, if you have any questions about reproduction and want to breed a mare, you have a mare in heat, constant heat, showing a filly or a mare that is in heat, don't hesitate to watch a previous episode, and also give a call to Dr. Lichoa anytime, 352-307-3690. Thank you very much, Dr. Lichoa, for another episode of A Stride.
Thank you for having me today.
So, in the previous episode, we talked about how to prepare a mare for foaling. So now, because we're veterinarians and I do not like to talk about sick animals, but we have to because we see a lot of sick animals, I want to talk to our audience about what to do if a baby is born sick. What are the most common things that you see in the field and what to do about it?
Thank you for having me today again. So the thing is that the most important thing on the babies when they're born sick is when the mare been suffering with placentitis, and we didn't notice that. And you will see when they born, you will see the placenta, very nasty placenta, bad odor, bad color, very brownishy, and also you will see that the placenta, you touch the placenta, is the kind of destroys. It's too tender, extremely tender. So when you have those cases, of course, you have to also always on the falling area, you need to have an oxygen tank. It's one of the most important things that a lot of people do not realize how important is the baby has oxygen if they born sick. So it's very simple. We have those. They are very small tanks that you can buy it, you can lease it, and also they have a special mask for the babies. Even a little hose you can put it through the nose be very helpful for that. So many farms that I did work before, we did have an oxygen tank. Maybe you don't use it in one season, maybe you use it a lot in the next season. So you have to be always aware that you have to keep an oxygen tank for those kind of emergencies. Other problem that we have on the babies when they born is the contract tendons.
Okay.
There's a very common cases that we have babies they born with the tendons being contracted. And you can help us with some casts that we do, special casts, plus medications that they have side effects to release those tendons. That's the case of the oxytetracycline. That's an antibiotic that we use for diseases. It's an antibacterian, but also help to release the ligaments at a certain age. So you have, as soon you do it, it's much better. Because if you pass 2-3 months, it may not be as effective when you do it at the beginning of the life. Something has to do with the tenderness of the tendons that help a lot. When you give that medication, it helps to release the tendons. The mechanism is unknown, but it will help. And you can have very good results when you act as soon as possible with those contract ligaments. Other thing that we can be aware is the colon meconium retention. Was when the babies that cannot go to poop because that meconium is really dry. So one of the first steps, you have to have always enema in your falling box. As soon they born, you give the enema to help it. You don't have to buy a commercial. You can make it with mixed soap with warm water. With a neutral soap is also very good for in emergency cases if you don't buy the enema.
Can they also go to Walgreens and buy one of those?
Yes, for the human, that's the perfect case. They are very cheap. You can keep two. They come in a pair of two. You can keep it at home. Doesn't hurt to keep always couple bottles when you have a falling season on it. So that's very helpful because one of the most common colics on newborns are meconium retention, and it's very complicated if you let them pass because you may end up doing surgery in a newborn baby. 24, 36, 48 hours born sometimes gets complicated. So you have to be aware of that. The first poop is very important. As soon you put you apply the enema, you see they poop, and that's very, very helpful. Sometimes you have to use it a couple times, but always the good thing is observe and check. Be aware of that. Other situation that we can see, the babies when they born, they develop a diarrhea, even on the day they're born, because mostly it's caused with the rotavirus. Okay. Rotavirus is a common virus that we have in the environment, and the babies they born weak, may be affected with diarrhea. So one of the most important signs on diarrhea is to avoid dehydration. If the baby dehydrated, they go down very fast. So you have to be aware that they drinking milk, they nursing all the time, they playing around. But if you see them lay down too much, be sure they've been getting enough fluids, because if they don't not nursing, you have to be aware they can be very, very dehydrated in a period of 4-6 hours. A lot of people, the baby born, they turn out, oh, I saw the baby doing great, and all of a sudden, but I saw him lay down for 3-4 hours. They sunbathing, but they forget to get up and drink. When they want to get to nurse, they're too weak to do it. Oh, wow. So in those cases, if you don't have a team to work with you, you have to rush to the emergency. The one of the most important thing, when we start in fluids, in 30-40 minutes they recover. But always you have to be aware of those situations. And the most important thing, always check and observe what they do. Babies has to be playful, running around, nursing. If you see a baby they lay down too much, be aware, he may get dehydrated or may have a colic, even if they don't see the normal symptoms. So you get up, you let them get up. If you see they go down again, call your vet, because that hour is very important. If you let them pass the hour, you may then go, whatever you do, you cannot save the baby. So you have to be very careful in the first 24, 36, 48 hours on the babies when they're born. Always check they've been nursing, they've been jumping in the stall or outside, but you have to see them playing, alert, responsive.
Quite delicate, these babies.
Yes, it is.
So you mentioned about the couple of things. You mentioned placentitis, contraction, constipation, and we talked about diarrhea. Now, talk to me about, you mentioned about oxygen. Talk to me about people called the dummy foals. What is that, and what's the best way to treat it?
The dummy foal is a situation when the babies, for any reason, they got stuck in the canal, in the partum canal, and they don't go out fast, and they lack of oxygen. At that moment, the brain get damaged, and they do not act normally, and they act like a drunk babies. So one of the most important things is when you have a dummy foal, we have 3 situations that you can handle that. It's a new treatment all treatment with the rope, that you squeeze the baby with the rope to make them react, and they can click and he can start getting oxygen in the brain. The other thing is when the medication that you prepare has some components on the medication, you can give an IV. But one of the most successful treatments that we have here in hand is the hyperbaric chamber. I know it's not common to have, but we have one in Ocala. That means you can save a lot of dummy foals with the hyperbaric chamber.
And it looks quite miraculously. They go in laying down and drunk, and they come up.
Believe it or not, it's very, very important when you have a dummy foal, reach us to use the hyperbaric chamber, because it's one of the most accurate and fast treatments to save a dummy foal.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've seen a whole lot of them. Now, for those people that do not have a chamber, we have a lot of international followers. do not have a chamber in house, what you mentioned the foal squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned some IVs, but what can they do?
The IV that has the MSO has vitamin B1,
Okay.
B12,
Okay.
vitamin C, and that help. You can use it once a day. That help a lot.
Got it.
And also giving oxygen
Mm-hmm.
by the nose, by the hose, ozone therapy. It will be very helpful. Use protectors, helmets for the babies. We have those helmets also available, and pad the stall. It's very important to pad the stall because when they get dummy or they get drunk, they start hitting themselves. So that was one of the most important thing because you can save the baby, but if he get hit himself, he can get worse. He can break his neck, he can break a leg. So that is very important to pad the stall when you have a dummy foal. Other thing is you have to be aware every hour, every 2 hours, help them to get up to stimulate the sucking reflex to they be nursing. That's other very important detail that help the baby to pass through the situation. And if you do all the steps, 90% of the time you recover a dummy foal.
Well, this was another fantastic, great crash course now on foal diseases. By no means every disease that your foal can get, but some of the most common ones. If you have any questions or any problems, please do not hesitate to contact us. Contact Dr. Lichoa. He will gladly talk to you and walk you through the process. Thank you very much, and thank you, Dr. Lichoa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of Faith Right Above.